Hey guys, how's it going? Shay from That Student Life, and today I'm down here just about to go into the university to make a video. Today's topic will be how to deal with stressful, how to deal with high pressure situations like exam periods and all the rest. I just came out of a pretty solid exam period with 4 exams, 4 days in a row, so I'm definitely feeling some tips on stress being relevant. So let's see what I've got. Okay guys, how's it going? Now, as I said before, we're going to be dealing with stress management, with what to do during high pressure situations or times of your life, like an exam block. I've just come out of one where I had 4 exams in 4 days, and there are a few tips that I definitely implement every day during those sort of periods to get me through it, to keep me performing well. So let's see what we've got. Okay guys, so the first thing that I do during a situation which is pretty stressful, whether it be an exam block or whatever, is to plan my day out to a T. In the morning, I'll grab a piece of paper, I'll write down the 5, 10, 15 things I need to do that day in order for it to be a successful day, to keep me on track, to keep me performing well. Now, I just write them all out, simple as it sounds, little box next to it, tick it off as I go. The second part to that though, is taking it one step at a time instead of all at once. I read a book once by a Navy SEAL who said that the way he got through his almost torturous training was by, instead of looking at the insurmountable or seemingly insurmountable amount of stuff he had to do in the few months, he would just take it one meal to one meal. So he would say, okay, let's just make it to lunch. No worries, we're at lunch now. Let's just survive until dinner time. Okay, we're at dinner. Let's survive until breakfast. I definitely take that approach during my mapping out of the day. Instead of looking at the 5, 10, 15 things all at once and getting super stressed out and feeling like I don't have any control, I just say, okay, let's just focus on the top priority. What's number 1? Okay, I've done that, no worries. Let's just focus on number 2, and just one at a time, I knock them off until I get all through. Don't focus on everything in a whole. Don't let yourself spiral out. Just think, okay, what's the first thing? I'll get that done, then I'll move on to the second one. Keep it nice and calm, keep it nice and systematic. When you plan it all out to a T, you won't have to make things up as you go, which will make you feel controlled, make you feel organised, and therefore reduce your stress. So plan it out, one at a time. Okay, so number 2, this is a little bit more unconventional, but it definitely works for me. And it has been linked to, a fair bit of successful people do this as well. Self-talk. Now, for me, self-talk is just about running myself through my day or running myself through particular things I need to do or particular challenges that might come up. On my way to university or school in the morning, I would often just take 2 minutes to out loud vocalise what I need to do, what I required from myself, what issues might come up, what I would do if they came up, and overall kind of just what I need to do for that day. It's similar to writing it on paper, but it's the vocalising of it for some reason just is a guide for yourself. It can make yourself feel in control. It's like a test run, you know what I mean? When you visualise it, when you vocalise it, it always seems to feel smoother when you actually get to the moment and you tend to react better. So a lot of successful people do this, and I've implemented it and I really like it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be out loud, because obviously it might be weird if people are around you, but in your head or whatever, just walk yourself through things before you actually face them, because you tend to just react better when you're doing something the second time. First in your head or out loud, and then the second time in the real situation. Alright guys, so another thing I do during stressful times or during an exam block or something like that is a little bit of meditation here and there. So it might not be every day, it might be every couple of days, or if I'm feeling particularly stressed. But what I do is I've just jumped on YouTube, downloaded a bunch of 5 to 10 minute free meditation ones, mostly focused around just controlling your breathing and just chilling out for a sec. Or the app Headspace, I've downloaded that and I've gone through their program. That's pretty good as well. But basically, meditation isn't just for 40-year-old yoga mums or for your parents or whatever. It's a really good way to take 5 to 10 minutes to realign yourself, to make sure that you're not spinning out of control, that you put things into perspective, and just to calm yourself down. Heaps of times I've been a bit stressed, especially during the HSC, and I'd sit down and do a 5 or 10 minute quick breathing meditation, and for some reason, after the 10 minutes, I would come out of that sort of meditative state and just think, wow, things just aren't as bad as they seemed 10 minutes ago. So that's definitely been a worthwhile thing for me. Doesn't matter if you can't concentrate, doesn't matter if you lose track and have to, I don't know, it doesn't matter if you're the sort of person that doesn't have a long attention span or that gets distracted easily. Everyone does that when they first start. You'll get better over time. But just the act itself of taking 5 to 10 minutes to breathe or listen to a meditation tape, for some reason for me, things always seem better after the 10 minutes than they did before. So it works. Okay guys, so my final tip, tip number 4, is just a pretty quick one. And it is, you got to do what works for you. Don't worry about what other people are doing during these times. You know, like one thing that works for someone else might not work for anybody else. So you got to implement what works for you. As you might have seen if you follow me on Snapchat, I do a lot of my study late at night. I get a lot of my work done between 9 PM and 3 AM. For some reason, that's just how I work. Thankfully, a few of my friends also work like that. So we often go to the university together because it's 24 hours and we can stay as late as we want. But yeah, look, it might look a little crazy to some people, but it's just how it works for me. Nick, on the other hand, is someone who likes to probably get up nice and early. Might be 5 AM and he's already studying in the morning because he's just gotten up, and that works for him. Now, it doesn't work for me, so we don't do the same thing. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with taking a different approach to other people if you know that it works for you. Some people can concentrate for 3 hours in a row and then they'll take an hour off as a break. And then other people can only concentrate for 40, 60 minutes at a time and they'll have 10-minute breaks every hour or something like that. So, you know, you got to do what works for you. Don't worry about chasing everyone else and what they're doing. Just focus in on what you need to do and how you best do it. And you'll figure that out through trial and error. But basically, you know, whether you can study with music or with not, or whether you can study in long periods or not, or whether you can study in the morning or night, or, you know, whether you can study only at the uni or only at your home desk, doesn't really matter. Whatever works, don't question it, just do it, and make sure that you're not distracted or influenced by anyone else and what they do. Just do what works for you. Alright guys, so thanks very much for watching. They're the 4 things that got me through my last exam block, 4 particular things that stood out to me that I definitely did every single day to help me feel less stressed, more in control, and then to perform better overall. So hopefully they definitely help you guys out, but at the end of the day, hey, implement them, don't implement them, try them out, see what happens. Whatever works for you, you should stick with, as I said. So look, just make the best recipe with all the ingredients you have and you'll do the best that you can. So as always, work hard. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.